As you begin to write your point of view paper, let me offer a few suggestions. First of all, just a clear description of the assignment. You are to read Breckenridge 2012 and write a short point of view paper, which is often called a position paper or argument paper. You should begin in typical APA style or essay style with a brief introduction that provides some background and a statement of your position going into this reading. In the body of the paper, you want to compare and contrast various points of view offered in the Breckenridge reading. You want to support these points with examples. Examples in the form of quotes, statistics, facts, and make sure you include citations. And you want to conclude your paper with a summary of the main points and basically explain how your point of view going into this reading about social media management has been changed or reinforced. But in typical fashion, when you begin to write, you don't want to proceed directly to the composition phase. You want to begin with preparing. So start reading early, set a schedule for the reading. You want to skim. You want to understand vocabulary. So if you don't happen to understand particular concepts, look them up. Take notes. You want to divide the reading into chunks. You don't want to just read straight through. At some point, you're going to hit the information overload point, and you'll no longer be able to comprehend or retain the ideas that you're reading. As some of you have already done, you want to organize a study group or study buddy, divide readings, exchange notes. And the Breckenridge book, like others you may have encountered in our program, is more of a popular reading rather than a deep theoretical academic reading. So look at it as a pleasurable reading. Maybe even save it till the last thing you do at night and just relax and curl up with a good book. As far as planning, you want to make sure that you outline or have an organizational plan for your paper. So you want to analyze the book's content. You want to not just summarize, not do a book report, but select and focus on a few key points, think critically about those points, and break them down. And I suggest you read the Chaffee 2004 Thinking Critically reading, which you can find in iLearn Resources in the Helpful Class Resource folder. Now you want to offer your point of view based on sound reasoning. Again, look at Chaffee, and support that point of view once more with specific examples, including quotes and citations from the reading. I want to be able to see you demonstrate your ability to comprehend readings and master the application of those readings by your selection of quotes and citations and examples, and try to apply some of the examples to real-world situations that we can all relate to. Now let me just point out in terms of writing, I'm going to highlight a couple of key things here. You want to make sure that your paper, as described in the syllabus under the assignments and description of assignments, you want to have some key headings. The key lessons learned, your personal perspective, and a change in viewpoint. I think you can break these down if you take a look at an introduction, which provides background. The key lessons learned would be in your body, along with your personal perspective. And then in your conclusion, you can address the change in viewpoint, and or perhaps how your viewpoint has been reinforced. Now, moving further on down, in the introduction, I point out the APA paper does not have an introduction heading. So you begin with the same title that you've used on the cover page or the title page. And that first paragraph in your first narrative page begins with a title. Just below the title, you begin your first indented narrative. No extra line spacing. Some people may ask about what voice to use. Should I write in first-person voice, third-person voice, even second-person voice? It's really up to you. An APA allows some latitude in the voice that you choose. Third person is recommended because it's generally seen as more credible. However, if you're writing a personal narrative and you're trying to make a personal connection with the readers, then first person is suitable. However, you do not want to switch back and forth. So pick one voice and stick with it. I know everybody likes examples, so I've taken an example from Pearson Higher Education online, and I'll try to compare and contrast the work you're doing on your paper with this particular example. This could be your introduction page. After your title page, you begin a new page, title at the top of your introduction. That name would be in your title page, so skip right to your first paragraph, which would be one double-spaced line below the title and indented. Now, in this particular case, the student opens up his or her position paper or point of view paper with a compelling story, a great way to grab attention. Use whatever device you need to grab the reader's attention, provide the background, offer a preview of what's ahead in your point of view paper, and get right to the point. Moving on down, after the introduction, you want to get into your key lessons learned. And this is the first major heading that you're going to have in your paper. So identify at least 3 key points or lessons, and with only 2 to 3 double-spaced pages, you will not be able to get into more than 3 points. Support your points with examples, quotes, facts, figures. I want to see primary sources from the Breckenridge reading. I want to see direct quotations, and I want to see the proper APA style page citations so we can all go back to the readings ourselves and take a look at the key points that you're referring to. Also apply these points to real-world examples from your experience or others that you know of, but real-world examples that you can use to apply concepts from the readings in ways that I can understand. And you'll see with the student paper, it's a point-by-point comparison of, in this case, 2 positions. You could go into your paper with a certain position or viewpoint about social media and then compare and contrast how Breckenridge's viewpoint is similar to yours or different. And again, present both views objectively and move on through your body. Back to your other heading, personal perspective. You can add your personal perspective after your key points. So perhaps here, have a personal perspective heading, which outlines perhaps your perspective and how that's different from Breckenridge. Finally, you conclude with a change in viewpoint, or I will allow latitude for those that feel Breckenridge supported your viewpoint going in. So how did Breckenridge change or support your view? And that would just be a simple summary in a paragraph or 2 that reinforces the main points and explains how your viewpoint has been changed or reinforced. Finally, as far as length, I know I'll have questions about the assignment. Can it be longer than 2 to 3 pages? It certainly can be no shorter than 2 pages, 2 full pages. It should be 3 full pages, but I will allow some latitude. If it goes to 4 pages, as long as it's well written, well organized, concise, and clear, with good use of examples and not filler or unnecessary words and phrases, I'll accept 4. If you need to go beyond that and you feel the information is essential, I recommend you add that information in an appendix, which I won't count towards the overall length. And finally, just a couple of other points. I'd highly recommend that, number 1, you refer to our academic writing and APA tips in the iLearn Wiki. I've got about 25 points that cover most of the common mistakes in APA writing. So review the APA and academic style wiki, and also look in your helpful resources for an APA sample paper. And the sample paper will give you a very good example of how to lay out your major headings and formatting and citations. So I hope this helps. Good luck with the paper. I look forward to reading it.